In an unprecedented and chaotic twist, the political landscape of 2024 has been thrown into disarray. Just 2 weeks ago, former President Donald Trump survived an assassination attempt, shaking the nation to its core. Now, in an equally shocking development, President Joe Biden has announced his withdrawal from the 2024 presidential race. As the Democratic National Convention looms on August 19th, the question on everyone's mind is, what happens next? And what is Trump's Project 2025? The departure of Biden has left a gaping hole in the Democratic Party, prompting a frantic scramble to select a successor. Vice President Kamala Harris is now the presumptive Democratic nominee, set to face off against Donald Trump. However, the path to the nomination is fraught with complexities. Delegates at the convention will play a crucial role in determining the party's future. There are two main types of delegates: pledged and superdelegates. Pledged delegates are elected or chosen at the state or local level and are required to support a particular candidate at the convention. Superdelegates, on the other hand, are unpledged party leaders and elected officials who can support any candidate they choose. As the convention approaches, the Democratic Party must navigate these complexities and present a united front against a formidable opponent. The stakes are high, and the pressure is on to select a candidate who can not only galvanize the party, but also appeal to the broader electorate. The choice of a running mate for Harris will be critical, as will the potential for other candidates to emerge and challenge her for the nomination. The tension is palpable, and the future of American democracy hangs in the balance. As we brace for the upcoming convention, the question remains, who will rise to the occasion and lead the Democratic Party into the 2024 election? Let's presume for a moment it's Vice President Kamala Harris. So who is she? Let's take a deep dive next. Kamala Harris is the Vice President of the United States, having served in this historic role since January 2021. She is the first woman, the first black woman, and the first person of South Asian descent to hold this office. Before becoming Vice President, Harris served as a U.S. Senator from California from 2017 to 2021, and as the Attorney General of California from 2011 to 2017. Her career is marked by a steadfast commitment to justice, equality, and public service. Let's talk about her bona fides. Legal and political career. Harris began her career as a deputy district attorney in Alameda County, California, where she prosecuted cases involving gang violence, drug trafficking, and sexual abuse. She later became the district attorney of San Francisco, focusing on criminal justice reform and reducing recidivism. As Attorney General of California, she championed consumer protection, environmental justice, and progressive reforms. U.S. Senate. In the Senate, Harris was known for her sharp questioning in committee hearings and her advocacy for healthcare reform, environmental protection, and civil rights. She co-sponsored significant legislation such as the Green New Deal and the Equality Act, demonstrating her commitment to progressive values. As Vice President, Harris has been a key advisor to President Joe Biden, particularly on issues of immigration, voting rights, and international relations. She has played a crucial role in promoting COVID-19 relief efforts, economic recovery, and climate initiatives. What does Kamala Harris bring to America? Kamala Harris brings a wealth of experience, a history of breaking barriers, and a deep commitment to justice and equality. Her vision for America is one of inclusivity, sustainability, and robust democracy. Here's a closer look at her agenda and why it stands out against former President Donald Trump's policies. So, assuming Trump doesn't drop out of the race, where do the two of them stand on the issues? During his presidency, Trump rolled back numerous civil rights protections, including weakening the Voting Rights Act and ending consent decrees that monitored police departments for racial bias. Harris has been a vocal advocate for civil rights, pushing for legislation to combat systemic racism, police reform, and voting rights protection. She supports the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act and has been a strong proponent of the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. Trump's economic policies largely favored the wealthy, with significant tax cuts for corporations and the richest Americans. His administration also sought to dismantle the Affordable Care Act, which would have left millions without health coverage. Harris's policies aim to reduce economic disparities by increasing the minimum wage, expanding access to affordable health care, and investing in underserved communities. Her advocacy for paid family leave and affordable childcare highlights her commitment to working families. Trump's administration rolled back protections for LGBTQ individuals, including banning transgender people from serving in the military and rescinding guidelines protecting transgender students. Harris supports comprehensive protections for LGBTQ+ individuals, including the Equality Act, which ensures non-discrimination in housing, employment, and education. Why Harris's agenda is better? Harris's commitment to equality ensures that all Americans, regardless of race, gender, or sexual orientation, have the opportunity to thrive. Her policies aim to create a fairer society where everyone can succeed, whereas Trump's policies often favored the wealthy and rolled back hard-won civil rights protections. Trump's administration focused on rolling back environmental regulations, including withdrawing from the Paris Agreement, promoting fossil fuel production, and reducing protections for public lands. Harris is a strong supporter of the Green New Deal, a comprehensive plan to address climate change by transitioning to renewable energy, creating green jobs, and reducing carbon emissions. Trump consistently downplayed the scientific consensus on climate change, undermining efforts to address the global crisis and promoting policies that exacerbated environmental degradation. Harris has introduced and supported legislation aimed at addressing environmental racism, ensuring that communities disproportionately affected by pollution and climate change receive the resources and support they need. As Vice President, Harris has championed investments in sustainable infrastructure, clean energy, and technological innovation to combat climate change. Harris's comprehensive approach to climate change prioritizes the health of our planet and the well-being of future generations. Her focus on environmental justice ensures that marginalized communities are not left behind. In contrast, Trump's policies favored short-term economic gains for the fossil fuel industry at the expense of long-term sustainability and global environmental health. Trump's tenure saw numerous efforts to restrict voting rights, including attempts to undermine mail-in voting and baseless claims of widespread voter fraud, and the big lie that the election was stolen eroded public trust in the electoral process. Harris has been a staunch advocate for protecting and expanding voting rights. She supports automatic voter registration, restoring voting rights to formerly incarcerated individuals, and combating voter suppression. Trump appointed numerous conservative judges, many with controversial records on civil rights and liberties, aiming to reshape the judiciary for decades. Harris has called for reforms to ensure a fair and impartial judiciary, including transparency in judicial appointments and diversifying the federal bench. Trump's administration was plagued by numerous ethics scandals and conflicts of interest, often prioritizing personal and political gain over public service. Harris emphasizes the importance of government transparency and accountability, advocating for stronger ethics rules and measures to prevent corruption. We filled you in on Harris, now let's talk about Trump and what is Trump's Project 2025. Project 2025 is a sweeping plan put forth by former President Donald Trump, his former staff and conservative moneyed interests, and is designed to reshape the American government and society by implementing radical changes across various sectors. This project aims to drastically alter environmental policies, social programs, immigration laws, and the structure of federal agencies. It reflects Trump's vision for a more conservative, deregulated America, prioritizing short-term economic gains over long-term sustainability and equality. Project 2025 is not only a damning document, it is damningly long, nearly 1,000 pages of horror. Here's just a top-level overview. Check their website for more information. It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. One of the core elements of Trump's Project 2025 is the rollback of numerous environmental protections. This includes weakening regulations on carbon emissions, lifting restrictions on fossil fuel extraction, and reducing protections for national parks and public lands. These changes would significantly increase pollution, contribute to climate change, and jeopardize the health of ecosystems and communities. By prioritizing the interests of big corporations over environmental sustainability, Project 2025 poses a severe threat to America's natural heritage and global efforts to combat climate change. Project 2025 aims to cut funding for critical social programs including healthcare, education, and welfare. These cuts would disproportionately affect low-income families, the elderly, and marginalized communities, exacerbating existing inequalities. By dismantling the social safety net, Trump's plan would leave millions of Americans without essential services and support, increasing poverty and reducing opportunities for social mobility. This approach undermines the principle of equality and fails to address the root causes of economic disparity. Another major aspect of Project 2025 is the implementation of stricter immigration laws and policies. This includes building more extensive border walls, increasing deportations, and limiting legal pathways to citizenship. These measures foster a climate of fear and exclusion, tearing apart families and communities. They also stifle the economic and cultural contributions of immigrants who have historically been a vital part of America's growth and innovation. By promoting xenophobia and intolerance, Project 2025 undermines the country's values of diversity and inclusivity. Trump's Project 2025 includes plans to restructure or even dismantle several federal agencies. This would involve reducing the power and funding of institutions such as the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, the Department of Education, and the Department of Health and Human Services. These changes would weaken the government's ability to enforce regulations, provide public services, and protect the rights and well-being of its citizens. By eroding the efficacy of federal agencies, Project 2025 threatens to create a less accountable and less responsive government, undermining public trust and safety. Trump's Project 2025 represents a significant shift towards deregulation, reduced social support, and increased inequality. Its focus on short-term gains at the expense of long-term sustainability and fairness makes it a dangerous blueprint for America's future. The environmental degradation, social inequities, and weakened governmental institutions it proposes would have far-reaching negative impacts, threatening the nation's core values and the well-being of its people. As such, Project 2025 is a vision that should be critically examined and resisted to preserve a more equitable and sustainable future for all Americans. That is why it is essential to vote for Kamala Harris or whomever runs against Trump. If it is Kamala Harris, she stands as a beacon of hope and progress for America. Her commitment to equality, climate action, and democratic integrity provides a clear and compelling vision for the future. Voting for Kamala Harris means choosing a leader dedicated to justice, sustainability, and the protection of our democratic values. In contrast, Donald Trump's record shows a consistent undermining of these principles, favoring policies that benefit the few at the expense of the many. For a fairer, greener, and more democratic America, Kamala Harris is the clear choice. Harris's dedication to protecting democracy ensures that all Americans have a voice in the political process. Her commitment to voting rights, judicial fairness, and government accountability strengthens the democratic institutions that are the foundation of our nation. Trump's actions, on the other hand, often undermined these institutions and eroded public trust in government. The Democratic National Convention will not only determine the presidential nominee, but also the vice presidential candidate. Several prominent figures are being considered, each bringing unique strengths and potential challenges to the ticket. Here are the key contenders. Josh Shapiro. As the governor of Pennsylvania, Shapiro has a strong track record of legislative accomplishments and a reputation as a progressive Democrat. His leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic and his efforts to protect voting rights have earned him national recognition. Shapiro's appeal in a key swing state could provide a significant boost to Harris's campaign. Mark Kelly. The Arizona senator and former astronaut has made a name for himself as a moderate Democrat with a focus on bipartisan cooperation. Kelly's military background and commitment to veterans' issues resonate with many voters. His presence on the ticket could help secure support in another crucial battleground state. Gretchen Whitmer. The governor of Michigan is known for her tenacity and resilience, particularly in the face of right-wing attacks. Whitmer's progressive policies and strong stance on women's rights have made her a rising star in the Democratic Party. Her inclusion on the ticket could energize the base and strengthen support in the Midwest. Andy Beshear. The governor of Kentucky represents a more centrist approach, with a focus on economic issues and health care. Beshear's ability to win in a traditionally red state showcases his appeal to moderate and independent voters. His selection could broaden the Democratic Party's reach in traditionally conservative areas. Roy Cooper. The governor of North Carolina has a reputation for pragmatism and effective governance. Cooper's moderate stance and focus on education and health care make him an attractive choice for voters seeking stability and experience. His presence on the ticket could help secure support in another competitive state. Gavin Newsom. The governor of California is a progressive powerhouse known for his bold policies on climate change, healthcare, and social justice. Newsom's leadership during the pandemic and his ambitious vision for the future resonate with many progressive voters. However, his liberal stance could be polarizing in more conservative regions. Pete Buttigieg, the Secretary of Transportation and former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, brings a fresh perspective and a focus on infrastructure and innovation. Buttigieg's intelligence and articulate communication style have made him a popular figure within the party. His inclusion on the ticket could appeal to younger voters and those seeking a forward-looking vision. With such a diverse and accomplished pool of potential running mates, the choice for Harris's campaign is both critical and complex. All the above would be great choices. However, my pick for the ideal candidate stands out for his experience, integrity, and unwavering commitment to the most pressing issues of our time. Stay tuned to find out who I believe should be the next vice president. Al Gore, a seasoned statesman with a deep commitment to environmental stewardship, emerges as a compelling choice for the presidency. Here are the reasons why I believe Al Gore should be president. Al Gore is no stranger to the American public. As a former vice president and presidential candidate, his name carries significant weight. This name recognition is not just a matter of familiarity. It reflects a long history of public service and political involvement. Voters know who Al Gore is, and this familiarity can translate into trust and confidence in his leadership. Al Gore's career is marked by integrity and professionalism. Throughout his tenure as vice president under Bill Clinton, he demonstrated a commitment to ethical governance and transparent decision-making. He was an active member of the administration, and his partnership with Clinton was a true collaboration. His post-political career has been equally commendable, with a focus on education, advocacy, and environmental activism. Gore's consistent dedication to public service has earned him the trust of many Americans, making him a reliable choice for the highest office in the land. The most pressing issue facing our world today is climate change. The scientific community is unanimous in its assessment that urgent action is required to mitigate the catastrophic impacts of global warming. Al Gore has been at the forefront of this battle for decades. His documentary, An Inconvenient Truth, brought climate change to the forefront. We need a candidate like that. As the Democratic Party rallies behind their chosen candidate, the road to victory will be challenging, but not insurmountable. The campaign will need to focus on key battleground states, appealing to a broad coalition of voters. Here's a strategic roadmap for the Harris-Gore ticket. The first step is to energize the Democratic base. This includes progressive voters, young people, and minority communities. The campaign should focus on issues that resonate with these groups, such as climate change, healthcare, and social justice. Rallies, social media campaigns, and grassroots organizing will be crucial in mobilizing these voters. Key battleground states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona, and North Carolina will be critical to securing victory. The campaign should invest heavily in these states, focusing on local issues and tailoring messages to resonate with voters. Efforts should include door-to-door canvassing, town hall meetings, and targeted advertising. To win the general election, the Harris-Gore ticket will need to attract independent and moderate voters. This will require a balanced approach, emphasizing pragmatic solutions to economic challenges, national security, and healthcare. The campaign should highlight Gore's experience and Harris's leadership, presenting a united front committed to addressing the nation's most pressing issues. The campaign must also be prepared to counter Trump's narrative and address his criticisms head-on. This will require a proactive communication strategy, emphasizing the strengths of the Harris-Gore ticket and their vision for the future. Fact-checking, rapid response teams, and a strong media presence will be essential in maintaining control of the narrative. In today's digital age, an effective online presence is crucial. The campaign should leverage social media platforms, email newsletters, and virtual events to reach a wider audience. Engaging content, interactive campaigns, and online fundraising efforts will play a key role in building support and maintaining momentum. Finally, the campaign should focus on building a broad coalition of supporters, including labor unions, environmental groups, civil rights organizations, and other key stakeholders. Partnerships and endorsements from influential figures and organizations can help amplify the campaign's message and reach a wider audience. By following this strategic roadmap, the Harris-Gore ticket can build a strong foundation for victory in the 2024 election. The road ahead will be challenging, but with determination, unity, and a clear vision for the future, they can lead the Democratic Party to success. As we stand on the precipice of the 2024 election, the stakes have never been higher. The choice we make will shape the future of our nation for generations to come. The Harris-Gore ticket represents a unique opportunity to address the pressing issues of our time, from climate change to economic inequality, and to build a more just and equitable society. The challenges are immense, but so too is the potential for positive change. By mobilizing the base, winning key battleground states, and appealing to a broad coalition of voters, the Harris-Gore campaign can secure victory and usher in a new era of progress and prosperity. As we move forward, let us remember the importance of unity, determination, and a shared vision for the future. Together, we can overcome the challenges that lie ahead and build a brighter, more sustainable future for all Americans. The journey will be difficult, but with strong leadership and a commitment to our core values, we can achieve great things. The time for change is now. The time for action is now. Let us rise to the occasion and embrace the promise of a new dawn for America. As we approach the 2024 election, it is crucial that every American makes their voice heard. Whether through voting, volunteering, or advocating for the issues that matter most, your participation is essential to shaping the future of our nation. Join the Harris-Gore campaign today. Get involved, stay informed, and take action. Together, we can build a better future for all. Follow us on social media, and stay tuned for updates on how you can make a difference. The future is in our hands. Let's seize this moment and create a brighter, more just and sustainable world for generations to come. Thank you for watching. My channel, known as The Renaissance Spirit, is dedicated to the pursuits of a just, equitable, and humanitarian world, and how and why we all need to be the solution to the issues facing us today. Video topics encompass areas including news, analysis, history, politics, religion, personal development, society, culture, social and environmental justice, and other topics of liberal arts and sciences, including ancient Rome and the Roman Empire, which is a great comparison and contrast of the modern world. Topics perfect for the true modern and egalitarian polymath. A person with an open mind and the thirst for truth in its many forms and disciplines. A journey through knowledge, reason, and time. The Renaissance ushered in a golden age in the pursuit of knowledge, knowledge both lost to time and yet to be discovered. It gave birth to the Enlightenment and the Age of Reason, and the Age of Humanism. Embracing truth, knowledge, and an understanding and compassion for humanity and our shared history opens up the world to each of us individually and collectively, enhancing our stewardship of the earth and our relationships with one another. Living the Renaissance spirit means engaging with history not as a distant past, but as a living dialogue, constantly informing and enriching our present, and the Renaissance spirit is a reminder of our dialogue with the future, our progeny and posterity, our legacy. Will we grant them a future free from fear of climate change and tales of the end of democracy? Will they admonish us for our sins and omissions, or will they remember us fondly as saviors of humanity and the natural world? Please take the quiz next to see if you're a Renaissance spirit. The Renaissance spirit, more than just a philosophy or style, but a style for living, learning, growing, and thinking. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and share if you're looking to explore and experience life in the steps of the true masters of the Renaissance and free thinkers throughout our past, present, and future. Let us continue this journey together, finding inspiration in the stories of those who came before us and those who come next, and forging a future guided by equality, wisdom, and compassion. Live the Renaissance spirit